Florida State football family. The good news, the 2019 season is over with. Welcome to the 34th edition of Florida State Seminoles Live here on MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. As you see, I'm not Mark Rogers. I'm Jason Parker from WTVJ NBC6 in Miami. Mark Rogers taking another week off, taking another much-needed vacation week off here. We'll be joined later, possibly by James Coleman, Big Game James from up in the Jacksonville area. Logan Robinson reportedly could show up. He also could be at the Florida State basketball game. The number 9th ranked Florida State Seminoles taking on Virginia right now. Of course, you can watch it here. We'll give you updates as the day goes on. But, of course, you're here. You want to watch Florida State football chat, the best in the business right here. And we will give it to you for the next hour or so, depending on how we go here. Obviously, the big news for Florida State this week has been who's not on the team anymore. Florida State has gone through the typical transition period when a new coaching staff comes in Tallahassee. And there's a couple players who are no longer part of the program who've entered the illustrious transfer portal that we all love and we all talk about so much. The big name, obviously, tight end Trey McKitty. He is heading to the University of Georgia. He will be a Georgia Bulldog. He's from the Wesley Chapel area. That one's a little disappointed. I thought he was going to stick around for his time in Tallahassee, but also not surprising that he will be leaving the program. Another big name, Malcolm Lamar from the Tampa area. He is heading to Florida Atlantic. He'll be joining up with former FSU coach Willie Taggart. Howdy, everyone. Wayne Tillman saying Chop Chat still rocks, obviously. And I appreciate Luigi Green. Obviously, you've got the Garofalo icon. Can they make it to the Super Bowl down here? We'll find out as it goes on here. The two other names, Juwan Williams, he has announced that he's entering the transfer portal. Obviously, Trayshawn Harrison, star wide receiver from the Seattle area. Could he be going back out to the West Coast? Who knows on that one right there. Another name that came up recently was Kyle Myers. His name initially showed up on the roster when the first roster was released for the 2020 spring football season, but then he immediately decided on Friday that his time wanted to finish in Tallahassee. He's obviously from the Louisiana area. Could he transfer to LSU, Tulane, the school out there? Time will tell on that one. But there are some people who have seemed concerned that so many players are leaving Tallahassee at this point. But this is what's going to happen. We've talked about this as it's gone on here. What is Mike Norvell going to do? How is he going to keep some of these guys? In reality, these are guys who Norvell would have been the third coach for these guys in a 4-season period. Obviously, you had some of these guys who were under signing classes of Jimbo Fisher, then the Taggart era, and now Norvell. So you can't blame them for wanting to try something else. So, by the way, Kyle Pickett, we are going to get to this question in a moment. We'll talk about, obviously, the last game of the season. So right now the question, how many of these guys are going to stay? How many more guys will be in transition? We've got Ansel Ford. Could Harrison follow to Florida Atlantic? That's another question. How many of these guys are going to follow Coach Taggart, several of the other assistants? Raymond Woody, he is heading to Florida Atlantic. Former FSU star defensive back Stanford Samuels, whose son is leaving early to head to the NFL. He is going to be joining the coaching staff of Willie Taggart at Florida Atlantic. So that's going to be another question. How many of these guys do head down to schools like that? Now, obviously, I'm going to get to this question right here from Kyle Pickett, who always shows us love here on MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Is the 2019 LSU team better than the 2013 FSU team? That is going to be an interesting question for the sheer fact that both of them were dominant. Both of them were arguably two of the better teams in college football history. LSU going 15-0 after they defeated the Clemson Tigers 42-25 on Monday in the national championship game, played inside the Superdome in New Orleans. Interesting fact, all 4 of their titles have been won in New Orleans. I know that's an interesting, stupid fact, but it's a fact nonetheless. This was a very good, dominant LSU offense, and let's give them credit for what they did. And Joe Burrow went from a 5th-round mock draft pick to being the guy who's going to get paid and be a future Cincinnati Bengal. On the offensive side of the ball, their offense was magical, stuff that you had not seen essentially since the 2013 Florida State Seminoles. I think where the Seminoles were a better team altogether is on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we can talk about the fact that FSU sent all 22 of those starters from that championship season into the NFL. LSU is dealing with a bunch of guys who, on the defensive side of the ball, they struggled. They gave up a lot of points. They weren't as dominant as Florida State was. Now, granted, once again, before the LSU contingency starts losing their mind here on me, that was an LSU team that played 10 teams that were in the top, they played 7 teams who were in the top 10. They played, I believe it was either 4 or 5 teams who were in the top 5. So they played a hell of a schedule this season, and they should be given immense credit for that one. That being said, if you're going to go with stats, there are only 4 teams that finished in the top 7 in both offense and defense. LSU's team was not one of them. The 2013 Seminoles were, obviously with the 1993 Seminoles as well as the 1995 and 1997 Nebraska teams. So I think that's where you have to argue who was the best team. So I would still give Florida State a slight edge if you're comparing the teams head-to-head on that one. By the way, basketball update, Florida State up 12-4 right now with 16 minutes to go in the first half. First of all, Tabor 9, sorry, you need to put down the alcohol and stop drinking. Miami, I said it, Miami is the best team in the ACC. Miami couldn't even win the Coastal Division. That's not a knock. That's a fact. Yes, they kicked Florida State's butt. That was a great achievement for this past season. Sorry, guys. No, you couldn't even beat FIU. You couldn't even. You're 0-2 against Conference USA. Sorry about that one. Let's see. Clemson would kick you in the head if you ever get into the title game, Miami. They already did one time in 2017. 38-3 was that one right there. Jeremy, let's see what we got here. Sorry, just trying to get things working here. Sorry, guys, doing this right here. Jeremy McFarland, any shot FSU goes after Derek King? Obviously, that has been a talked about conversation. Derek King, who is the quarterback from Houston, who drew some controversy during the season when he, after the 4th game of the season, announced that he was going to redshirt the rest of the season and didn't play the rest of the year. And there was some controversy, obviously family members saying he was going to transfer. He said he was going to stay. Well, all of a sudden he decided that he doesn't want to be a Houston Cougar anymore. We talked about this last week with the quarterback situation. We've talked about it actually the past couple of weeks here on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, asking that question. What should Florida State do with the quarterback situation? My sentiment on this one, Jeremy, would be Florida State shouldn't go after it because I am constantly concerned after the one time we tried to do that with a gentleman by the name of Everett Golston, who transferred in from Notre Dame. As far as that's concerned, I don't like these one-time deal things. I get why it's needed. I do think that the transfer portal is a good thing, but I don't think that going after it, especially for the quarterback position, is going to be the best thing. I think right now you have to deal with what we have. I'd like to see Jordan Travis work better in the new offense, and I would like to see Jordan Travis be given a serious chance to be the quarterback. I hopefully he gets a better chance at throwing the ball, gets a better chance at being a true quarterback so that he can get a chance to challenge James Blackman for the spring game come April 18th. Make sure you buy your tickets. They were put on sale today at Seminoles.com. $10 for general admission, $80 for the Champions Club. It'll be the one game of the year that some of us spend money in the Champions Club. Derek says you are wrong. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate your support there on that one. We're going to answer questions as we go on here. We got a lot of beef going back and forth between Miami fans. Apparently, Miami fans are back here early. Some Miami fans just hope they beat FSU. It used to be the opposite. And there's a lot of people down here who that's been the defense against me from a lot of the Miami fans that I work with down here, is basically saying, hey, we beat you. Congratulations. You beat a 6-7 team. That's your achievement for this season so far. So if that's going to be your achievement so far at this point, so T.A. Burdine, Miami is tired of beating Florida Sucks University. We were tired of beating you 7 times in a row, so that's why we let you get those 2 wins right there. So congratulations on that one. Jeremy, you're welcome there on that one. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Derek King. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he was very good at Houston. I think that there's just that's one of those things where at this point, I think 2015 was at least had a decent team around him so that you could afford to take that risk. When you're starting with a brand new coach, I just don't think that risk is worth it at this point. Just I knew you would show up. Just look at the silly spear. I don't think the spear is that silly right there, and I'm covering it up with my fat head right now. I don't think the spear is silly. It's autographed by Bobby Bowden, the legend. I don't think it's that silly, but Dennis, come on, man. I'm sorry. Dennis, tell me what school you're representing so I can make fun of it real quick. So let's see what goes on here. Come on, Miami fans. You're talking. Yeah, Miami fans. Guys, we can talk smack here, but come on, seriously. Hurricanes Gators better be ready. The FSU team under Coach Norvell. See, this is my thing right here. I do think Coach Norvell is a good coach, and for those of you who have gone after me for saying that I was attacking him, in no way was I attacking him at any point this season, or attacking the hire. I was attacking that I don't think he's a coach who you wait 5 weeks for. I don't think he's somebody who Florida State should have waited 5 weeks for. Obviously, the hire was made as the hire was made. There's nothing we can do about it right now, but I mean, I think we all need to just be patient. If Florida State can win 8 games this season, let's take those 8 games and let's go there. I thought the silly Spear guy went into the transfer portal. No. My degree is from FSU. I could go to grad school and transfer, maybe Georgia. I could take Jake Fromm's job as quarterback, but no, that's fine. That's fine right there. I think I'll stick right there. Let's say easygoing 32. Jason, FSU needs offensive tackle. They're offering a lot of offensive guards. Can you explain what you think of this reason? I think they must can play both positions. I think the question right now at offensive line is who is going to play. And I know that that's kind of not really answering your question, easygoing, but I think the question is going to be, can they get 5 guys who can stay healthy enough at this point? I think that's going to be our biggest problem, and that's been our biggest problem for now. We're going on the better part of half of the last decade, was the fact that and I'm sorry, I'm going to blame some of this on Rick Trickett, and I believe some of this has to be placed on both Greg Fry and Randy Clements during the Willie Taggart era. I think there's too much of the old school, and this is what we talked about before when I said why I don't want Florida State to bring in all these guys as assistant coaches. There was talk about possibly bringing in Terrell Buckley. There was talk of that for a moment as the defense back and secondary coach. The problem that you bring in is living too much in the old school is the Bobby Bowden era. And we talk about it with Miami fans who will understand this, who are also fans of the Miami Dolphins, who all they do is talk about the 1972 team. There's a certain point where living in the past is going to be what harms you. Notre Dame, for example, still living in the past. And Miami Hurricane fans will get pissed at me here by saying this, but all you Hurricane fans who talk about 2001, your freshman class wasn't even born the last time you won a national title. That's not a knock. That's a fact. You cannot continue to live in the past so much. So I think that's what you need right now is just, at this point, I want guys who can be healthy on that offensive line. That's what I want. I want guys who can play as long as possible on that offensive line. Mark Richt would have been the perfect coach for FSU. No, I think we're pretty much fine right there. I think we're pretty much fine at this point. I got one identical. I'll sell for $2,000. I believe they're only $100. So you make that money, Kyle. God bless you. You make that money on that one. Obviously, so the title game came up on Monday. LSU getting the title. The ACC is no longer the holders of the national champions after Clemson lost. Clemson, I think it's a good thing for them to lose, not just because I was rooting against them, but also because I think it's a chance to wake them up. And I think you will see an awakened Clemson team. And I think that's not great for those of us in Tallahassee who hoped we would have a shot against them come the 2020 season. Obviously, we want to know when we will play them. That schedule should come out at some point next week if we judge by when it came out last season. But I do think that it should wake Clemson up. I think it's a good thing for Trevor Lawrence to get a loss. And I think there sometimes is that level of complacency when you think, oh, we're just going to win. It's so easy. And, then things happen like that. Let's see. Corey Finch says, quote, 2001 Canes beats 2013 Knowles. There's not a chance. There is not a chance. And I have argued this with Miami fans. The problem with the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, who were a great college team, I was inside Doak Campbell when they smacked us around 49-27, so I remember exactly what that team was, and it was a great team. The problem with that team is that it was a great pro team, and all everyone talks about is how, all these guys who went to the pros from the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. How does that help the Miami Hurricanes in the college game? Yes, they're great guys who went to the pros, names like Sean Taylor, names like Kellen Winslow, names like Vince Wilfork. But there were also guys there who couldn't even sniff a CFL team, couldn't even sniff an arena team. They were a very good college team. They were not the best team. The 2013 Florida State Seminoles beats 2001 Miami by 14 points easily. It's not even a question. It's not even a question. Dude, you are on something. Miami will kill. Well, I'm drinking water out of my Ravens cup here. I'm obviously still upset that the Ravens lost to the Titans. But Tell me, who was their punter? Who was their kicker? Who was their offensive line? Our guys went into the NFL from the 2013 team. I think the 2001 Miami team was arguably one of the top 3 college football teams, but they were not the best. The 2013 Florida State Seminoles smoked every single team. Sorry, guys. I get that there's a lot of Miami fans who want to criticize it, but it's because you're living off of what you hear about all these guys, all these great things they did in the NFL. FSU needs to can the arrow guy right now. That's the key. Get rid of him. I hope you're not talking about my arrow. It's a spear, #1, but okay. That's fine like that. So we can talk about that. Obviously, the best thing is the spring game in Tallahassee. We talked about that on April 18th at 5 p.m. kicking off the Mike Norvell era. So make sure you get your tickets to that one. There is a concert afterwards. It's a country music act that I'm not going to lie to you. I have never heard of either one of them before, and people I work with who listen to country music have never heard of them before. But you should go ahead and still stay for the concert anyway. Where's Logan at tonight? Well, I believe he's somewhere at the Tucker Center watching Florida State taking on the Virginia Cavaliers in that one. So he is there on that one. Right now, Florida State is. Sorry, I'm rewinding this one. I apologize. This is live on air, people. Live on air for you. But that's where Logan is at tonight. He's at the Tucker Center watching the Seminoles take on Virginia. Why get rid of the best opening college? It's not the best opening college football. Florida State's up 12-10 right now with 11:47 to go right now. Even Trey McKinney kicks rocks from FSU. That is that the best you got, Dennis? Dennis, you do better. You've done better before. You've done better. Derek, with the comment of the night, damn Tannehill. Exactly. Thank you. Although it would be funny covering Miami down here, all the people who killed Tannehill when he was the quarterback of the Dolphins, if he can play in the Super Bowl being played inside Hard Rock Stadium. So that would be a little bit funny on this one. Let's see. Dante Colon, 2001 would kill Jameis and the Crab Steelers. You are precious. Well, I am precious. I will agree with that one. Thank you, Dante, on that one. But no, 2001 Miami would get smoked by easily 14 points. It's not even a question. Miami has the best head coach in football who went to Florida State. That's right. You can't do anything without being coached by a Knoll. Let me just point there. I do enjoy watching y'all play b-ball. Y'all are very talented. And Florida State basketball is not getting enough credit. I know we're a football chat, but I'm going to take a few seconds here to say, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the FSU basketball team, watch them. They're number 9 in the country for a reason. They're a pretty damn good team. If you're down here in South Florida, they play the Miami Hurricanes on Sunday, 1 o'clock in the Watsco Center. I will be there cheering for Florida State in the media section. But you need to root for this team, and you need to cheer them on. And Leonard Hamilton, he's in his 17th season. That makes me feel really old because that's when I started school at Florida State. It was his first year. So I just felt really old by saying that. But you need to cheer on this team. This has been a great team. Trent Forrest, MJ Walker, these are guys that are going to be doing amazing things. Let's see. College football in 2001, not the same as college football. RPL Jason, please take those bias shades off. Well, they're not shades, and I'm sorry, I believe your code name is 904 Hurricane. RPO has changed college football, but I'm pretty sure Florida State was still a pro-style offense, but you keep living in the past. Keep telling me about 2001. 37-10. It was 27-10, Miami boy. I get that you probably went to Miami-Dade Community College, but that's okay. It's fine. It was 27-10. If you're going to smack talk, at least get your facts right. Thank you. Orange is such a tacky color. I've been saying this. All our rivals wear orange. Orange is a disgusting color. The dog Bowden, golden retriever, lives with my ex-wife. He pukes orange. Every time he pukes, it pukes orange. It's a disgusting color. It's horrible. Players need flea repellent after that raggedy horse runs around. Your mascot is a bulldog who lives in a house. He wears a sweater. He injures his paw jumping off of a bed inside a hotel room. I believe that was against Vanderbilt. Come on, your mascot is a disgusting horse. Florida's sexy and Florida's smart. Everybody loves Florida. We have the best colors, the best team, the best band, the best team, the best coaches, and the best players. All right, well, let me just start this from the beginning. Florida is a sexy state. I'll say it's sexy. It's cute. It's not boy band cute, but it's cute. Florida is smart. No, you're a college in the state of Florida. So sorry, you're nothing special. Have the best colors? No. Best stadium? No. Best bands? No. Best team? No. Best coaches? Best players? No. None of that. None of that, George. I'm sorry, buddy. You're a good guy. God bless you. Continue. Hit the like button, guys. Make sure you hit the like button here. But no, sorry, you're so. Luigi Green, 49ers, this FSU Hoops team could be the one. I hope so. I really would like to win a title. I'm getting really tired of Gator fans talking about how they won titles. Canes fans talking about how their team beats us in basketball, how they've beaten us lately. Sorry, I need you guys. I need the basketball team to do something. Let's see here. Hold on. 904 Hurricane. Vincent Young's Texas, Reggie Bush, USC, good enough to beat 2013 Knowles. Well, I'm sorry, Reggie Bush's USC couldn't even beat Vince Young's Texas team, so they couldn't beat the Seminoles. Let's just be honest. That's simple math on that one. Texas was a good team, but no, not so much. Miami will beat FSU 44-10. They beat us by 4 points and 1 point, and then this year they blew out a bad team. Yeah, good job, Burdine. Good math there, Chief. Scott Davis, nothing better than Chief Osceola, Renegade Doak, and the war chant kicks ass. Yes, all agreed on all of these things right here. Every single one. Breaking, nobody cares. Miami Beach, Florida State, because they both. First of all, George, okay, all right. It's if Miami beat Florida State. I'm sorry, George. You're probably on your cell phone. You're probably on, I'm not gonna make fun of your academics, not gonna make fun of anything. You're probably a smart guy, but I just want to make sure that we get everything correct here on this one. Would you rather have B-ball title or Natty this year? Oh, I've said everything. Florida State football comes first. It was my first love as a Florida State fan, as the son of Florida State graduates. Florida State football is the first priority. So if the options are Florida State football wins a national title this year, and the basketball team that's 14-2 right now loses every single one of their 13 regular season games they have left, sorry, Leonard, I love you, but yeah, that's just going to have to be – sorry, that's just the way it goes right there. I like when Florida wins basketball and football in the same year because no one else has ever done that. That's true, and I believe that was over a decade, nearly a decade and a half ago. So once again, just like Miami fans living in the past. Florida fans, you're just like Miami fans there on that one. I actually like the national championship Knowles with Wharton, Charlie Ward better than the 2013 team. It was a great team. That 93 team was a phenomenal team. That was when we all loved them. So we all grew up with them at that time. But, I think 2013 Seminoles end up beating them right there. George, we'll beat y'all's butt in 2023. Hopefully it's before 2023. Hopefully it's 2020. But who's knows on this one? George, giving some love to LSU. Congratulations. Yes. Congratulations to LSU. And I want to especially give a congratulations to Ed Orgeron. I think he's an assistant coach, and we talked about it during the whole process when we were looking to hire coaches, and there's the question about should Odell get a look, should Odell get hired. I think Ed Orgeron's an example of the process and trusting the process. He trusted the process at USC, all his jobs at places like Syracuse, places like Miami, and he was able to do it in his home state with the team that he originally played for before transferring. I think he deserves all the credit in the world for all the things he did. And plus, anytime he can speak and sound like Farmer Fran, it is the greatest press conference ever. Florida's a bunch of bones, thugs, street king. Whoa, hey now. I'm not going to start to lie about that. I'm going to take that off real quick just because there was a certain word there. Sorry, I apologize for that one. But no, first of all, you're not bone thugs or anything. You're more like Tim McGraw, but okay on that one. There's a lot of people going after George. Lay off George. He's a Gator fan. He's got enough stress in his life. Just let him move on with that one. Another thing we're talking about here, and another conversation we could talk about here in the world of football, but switching to the pro game for a second, is Luke Kuechly of the Carolina Panthers calling it a career early, obviously when his time at Boston College, played against Florida State a few times. That's going to be a big question there on that one, the future of football. How many of these guys are going to leave early? Is there a certain time where you have to decide that it is time to hang it up because the physical, the mental side of it, everyone talks about Marshawn Lynch and his speech after the loss to the Packers in the playoffs on Sunday about getting your mentals right, taking care of your bread. That's something that a lot of players don't recognize until it's too late. So I think Luke Kuechly deserves a shout out for what he did and knowing what is best for him. He decided that what is best for him is to leave at the age of 28 while he still has money, while he still has time in his life to do things that he wants to. Yes, BW, take care of y'all's chickens. Still trying to figure out what the hell that means, but you know what? Marshawn said it, and I believe that Marshawn is 100% correct. So, let's see, 2020, Florida 31, Florida State 19. I wouldn't mind it being that close at this point. I know what we are. I know what we are at this point, but You know what? Who knows? 904 Hurricane, just could you please compare Peter Warwick to Scary Terry? Who do you like better? Can you imagine them playing together? I could imagine them playing together, and then I'd wake up from my dream and realize that's never going to happen. But if you're asking me to compare, I think Peter Warwick will always be one of the best receivers in college football history because of what he did on the field. He was never a fast runner as far as things like the 40-yard dash, as far as like combine drills and whatnot. But when you put him on the field, when he's being chased, he was one of the best. And I'm not just talking about the Sugar Bowl. I'm talking about the 1998 game against Florida. I'm talking about getting the famous plays against Louisiana Tech, the 97 game against Miami. That's what it means. And so I will once again say that he is one of the best ever. I think Scary Terry has the potential to be in the conversation, but I think Peter Warwick will school him any day. Burdine says, take care of your chickens means your body. Thank you. TA Burdine 1. Thank you very much. So I appreciate that one. Scott Davis, we will win at least 8 games next year. Bank on it. I hope so. And we talked about this a little bit last week when I was here with Logan. That's one of the big things is, can Florida State win 8 games? And we've talked about it. That's going to be the biggest thing, is that first 3-game stretch. When Florida State is playing West Virginia, an unknown game, and then Boise State on the road at this point. If Florida State can get out of that stretch at least 2-1, I think there's a decent chance that 8 games is an extreme possibility. But that's going to be the stretch right there. West Virginia in Atlanta, Boise State all the way out in Idaho. That's going to be a question right there. Kyle Pickett, Chick-fil-A is better than Popeye. Sorry, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. When you have people wanting to physically fight for your chicken, you are 100% better. Luigi Green 49ers, FSU will make the playoffs by 2022, 2023. I don't want to put the pressure on them at that point, especially if Clemson does wake up after getting beat and Trevor Lawrence does come out and have a monster season next year. But I hope. I hope by 2022, that's a 3rd year. Florida State won a national title in their 4th year under Jimbo Fisher. Under Bobby Bowden, before that, in their 4th year, they were undefeated and went into their Orange Bowl, first ever Orange Bowl against Oklahoma in the 1979 season. So, 2023 would be the 4th year. Could that be a legitimate option? George sitting here saying, let me pull this up real quick. Florida has the best home stadium in all of college football. George, sorry, you forgot to put Florida State has the best home stadium in college football. It's fine. We can edit it later, but just letting you know that one. Jay Jobs, who will be FSU's quarterback. We talked about it a little bit last week. I do think it is going to be James Blackman will be the starting quarterback entering spring football. Does he leave spring football as a starting quarterback? That's going to be the deeper question. I will say this. If Jordan Travis can show he can throw the ball decently like a decent quarterback, I would not be surprised if he is the starting quarterback come the West Virginia game. But we need him more as a runner. Scott Davis, the West Virginia game will be huge. We have to win this game for momentum and morale in this team. And that's absolutely. And that's what we joked about it last week, about the idea that this game could be moved to Labor Day night and whatnot like that. First of all, that won't happen. They're not going to put the pressure on them at that point. But I do believe that if Florida State goes out and looks good in that game and gets that confidence, builds up, and if they can be 3-0 after Boise State, or at least 2-1 after the Boise State game, I think we're going to be fine. If we go out in that West Virginia game and play anything like we did in that Virginia Tech game in the first game of the Willie Taggart era, then I think we're going to have a problem right there. What is your opinion of playoff expansion? I hate the playoff system, period. I think the playoff system's a joke. I think it has ruined college football to the point where guys like Cam Akers aren't going to play in their final college game in the Sun Bowl because they don't want to get hurt, because it's basically made it to where there's only 2 bowl games this year, it being the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl, that matter, and everything else is just trash. So no, I don't think I think the playoffs should expand by not existing. Quick question: did OBJ violate NCAA rules by handing out money to Burrow if it was real? I mean, once the clock is 0, Burrow was no longer an amateur athlete. No, Burrow's fine whether it's real money or not, because yes, exactly. Once the game hit 000, his college eligibility was up. Odell Beckham Jr. is saying it wasn't money that he handed out. Burrow today said it was money he handed out, and basically essentially threw the school under the bus, saying, hey, it's not my problem anymore, so hey. I don't think OBJ, I don't think he's that dumb. I hope he's not. I think he's a great player. But no, I don't. I don't think that he actually handed out real money on this one. George, next year's national championship, Florida versus Ohio State. This is not 2006, George. Let's move on to the future on this one. So this is what happens when we are in the part of the spring time before spring football starts. Spring football will be starting in about 2 months. Obviously, next month we have the wonderful joys that is the world of recruiting period. It begins the real recruiting day, the traditional recruiting day, coming in the first Wednesday of February. So we'll see which players that Norvell can add to an already decent group, considering what he had to deal with and how late he came to the party. So we will be seeing a lot of that, and then hopefully, next week you will see more than just me here on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. But until then, we want to thank you all for reading. Thank you all for contributing. Remember the important factors. Florida State is much better than Miami and Florida. Always has been and always will be. And the season's over, thank God. So the 2019 season is over. We can't blame the Willie Taggart era anymore, just like I can't blame Jimbo Fisher anymore. I still will. So Logan, sorry about that one. I will continue to do that. So, but for everyone here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, I am Jason Parker, and we will see you, well, hopefully we will all see you here next week. Take care.